appreciate the time that you're taking with us today, Dr. Gulani. It's your normal work day, and we appreciate what you're doing for us and explaining everything to us. Brenda, my wife, as you know, since you have worked on her, had RK surgery many years ago, and I had RK. They had to go back and do it a couple of times. So she's had over 20 cuts on each eye. On one eye, they came back and uh, crossed some of the cuts to make it even more difficult, I'm sure, for you. But we never hear anything about this when people are talking about cataract surgery. All they talk about is this lens and that lens. And what's your take on the lens that you put into to her, or how important the lens is when you've got a case like this?
Sure, sure. I mean, absolutely important question. Um, First of all, amazing, all three of you. You saw patients here from all over the world with RK, and now three of you in particular leaving right now, flying back home. But it's a pleasure to sit down with y'all, even in a busy day, and answer questions because I love to educate, inspire, even inspire my colleagues that this is possible. Y'all are all very complex cases, but y'all are seeing and traveling today, day after surgery. So, to answer your question, it is very important. So, when we remove the cataract, in anybody, even a normal person, your cataract was a lens to begin with. All right? So that lens has to be replaced by an artificial lens. So simple. What makes this difficult is in a radial keratotomy eye, the measurements are off. You can't measure accurately because your RK shape has become so flat, the machines can't measure accurately. Also, not only that, also you fluctuate. So imagine a target that's behind a mountain, meaning you can't see it, and it's moving, and you have to hit that target. That's what decides the power of your lens. That's what decides your vision endpoint. Because your measurements are off and changing, very difficult to land you at a vision that you can plan in a normal cataract case where you can plan, would you like distance vision, near vision, multifocal, trifocal, bifocal, all that stuff. Now, I understand a lot of you also come here with complications of lens-based surgeries, and not necessarily your fault, but because of the advertising that's going on of different lenses. But remember, those lenses were made for normal eyes. As I always compare this to MasterChef cooking, right? Every ingredient was made for a reason. But you cannot put a new coffee bean in curry and coffee and go, this is going to taste great. No, it won't taste great in curry. So the recipe is more important to understand. In your case, when if I may, on camera, as all this is impromptu, you have over 20 cuts plus crisscross cuts even into your pupillary area. So your measurements of all the testings came blank, but how many times did I torture you? How many hours did I see you? In your pre-op, Brenda. You're counting.
Several.
Correct.
Several.
How many hours with you, Dave?
2 or 3 hours
On how many days?
on about 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably been what, 3, almost to 4 hours every day. I mean, it's been what, 4 days.
For pre-op.
Yeah.
That's for pre-op,
Yeah.
and not till surgery.
And
Yeah.
and answered every question and did not feel like that we were rushed
Yeah.
Cannot
to
be.
get something out,
Cannot
to
be.
get to something else.
Well, the point that I want, and very good question you asked about the lens. So let's come back to that. A lot of lenses, a lot of hype going on. Doctors give you all menu cards. This, or this, what do you want? Platinum, gold, or this package?
Yeah.
Again, all that's applicable to normal eyes. In an RKI, there's more important to understand what else is going on. Like in your case, Dave, if I may, on camera. He doesn't have 20 cuts. He has less than 20. But again, his case was the most difficult. He has Fuchs dystrophy underneath. So he has RK cuts, AK cuts, astigmatic cuts, and ectasia, the cornea is bulging. So its measurement in this area is completely different from the rest of the cornea. Now imagine this. We talked about what you are going through. Imagine what I'm going through. I have to look through 20 cuts when I'm operating. None of you have stitches. Anybody had any pain during surgery?
No.
And I was in your eye and we were chatting. How was your experience in the surgical suite, spa?
Yes.
All this while you're awake, just on drops, no IV, there was no knocking you out. So I want you all to also enjoy the experience. That's my desire. I'm not doing anything to impress anyone. I just do what I feel is right for my patients in the best environment with all the love I can. I mean, just look at you all today. We are sitting here in a busy day while patients are landing from everywhere and you all are flying out. It's a pleasure to answer these questions because I hope other patients and doctors take advantage of this. So the lens implants that are made, there are various kinds: trifocal, bifocal, monofocals, accommodative, light adjustable, pinhole optics. All these are there, but these were all made for normal eyes. The problem I'm seeing, like many patients landing today, are RK patients who had cataract surgery and they fell for these lens options, and now they are miserable and the doctors don't know what to do. Here's the good news: I can fix all of them without having to take them back to surgery or remove their lens by using laser plastique to fix the optics. So the lens is important, but how to use that lens as an ingredient in your vision recipe in a patient with RK, with fuchs, with scars, with ectasia, irregular astigmatism, how to make that work. In a patient with 20 cut, what lens to use to make it work. In a patient with scars and RK, how to make it work. And 2 of you had severe dry eyes. In fact, 3 of you. How was the dry eye treatment, the moist therapy?
Very helpful.
Very helpful.
Again, you're seeing this is the holistic approach. The doctor who's dealing with RK must know all these. This is why I keep teaching this. They cannot just drop a lens in and go home. There is tear film instability, not necessarily dry. The tear film is unstable from the RK cuts. Know how to fix that. In our case, we do the moist therapy. How bad was the treatment? Moist treatment.
Very easy.
Tears are back. So now your windshield has fluid. Then I have to enter your eye, look through these dangerous eyes, operate, and come out without a stitch, making it look perfect, and have used the best knowledge I can of 30 years to pick a lens of the power I feel is right. Now, in some cases, I plan 2 stages, like you, Cherry, because you have a scar also, very dense scar. So I have manipulated his optics with the lens. So it's not necessary that he will see right now, but as to where he is landing. So I can then use that algorithm that I caused to use the laser in the applicable form to go after his scar and make him see.
That's why it's good.
Got it? So the whole planning, if you remember when you came back for your second eye, when you flew back from Texas, I measured a lot of things. I measured where my lens is sitting on the first eye, how y'all are healing. That's why I trouble y'all, make y'all fly back for your second eye. Because in RK, I want to see how y'all dealt. Because RK wasn't done by a computer, so it's less predictable. It was done by hand. So even each eye is different. I want to give you every bit I can. I'm in no rush. Makes my work intense because I have to again climb a new mountain when you fly back. So all these lenses are a good discussion, but that shouldn't be your focus. Your focus should be, doctor, have you understood my vision recipe? Now can you pick the right ingredient? And still, please show me proof that you're a master chef. Again, I'm sure every eye surgeon is wonderful and they can do these things, but that's what your question should be. Sometimes, in our case, because I educate the patients so much and you'll have 14 pages of informed consent you'll sign here, you'll are clear about this, but it is important that patients understand. You'll have addicted me, that you'll are seeing next day, all of you. I never promised that to you. There are some patients, actually many of our patients are seeing 20/20 without glasses after intense RK problems. But I don't guarantee that to you. As long as you land on something measurable with your difficulties, as long as you land where I'd never need to do a transplant on you with your fuchs and scars and everything, that is tremendous success. But the fact that y'all are landing with vision without glasses makes me so excited, even 31 years later. But that is important to, based on your question. Is that an expectation from you? The answer is no. So I want patients to understand of RK. Yes, I've been doing these complex cases, and I'm doing something very, in a way, dangerous, wouldn't you say, Mark? Dangerous, that I'm putting you all on camera.
Yes.
None of y'all are predictable Lasik cases that I know exactly you'll see perfect 20/20 plus. You'll are all unpredictable, all intelligent, skeptical. You'll have research. You'll have stalked me, right?
Yeah.
You'll stalk me for months and years watching videos of mine. But this is a great opportunity to share what's in my heart, what I want doctors and patients to know, that none of you should be told that nothing can be done. It's just how hard I want every doctor to fight and then treat you all like family. So you'll have no incentive. I have no incentive. There's another important thing when you asked about lenses. There should be no incentive for doctor or patient, at least in my institute, to use a particular lens for money. So none of our lenses are differently priced because everything I use is premium. So there's no fooling around. No one's cutting corners, no one's trying to upcharge. It's what's right for you that I want. Period. There's no, did I give you options?
No.
Isn't that funny? No menu cards. But if you look at it the other way now, how much responsibility I'm taking. I can't blame you. Look at this. I'm looking at the camera. I can't blame my patients because I chose for them based on my integrity, decades of experience, and intense skills that I have to apply for them. That's your question on lenses. So lenses are important, but I don't want RK patients to focus on lenses because that's why they're coming to me with all these troubles. Because they had the coffee bean put in curry. The recipe has to be clear. And adjusting a lens after surgery never makes sense to me. Go perfect the first time. And another important thing about adjustable lenses, again, nothing wrong, the technology is great. But applying it in eyes just because you don't understand the eye is a mistreatment. Correct. In an RKI, your cornea is changing. Now you adjust the lens, but you didn't factor in the cornea still changing. Now what? Patients are coming here with vision is miserable. I've had 4 or 5 lock-ins. Now what do I do? Again, good surgeon, good surgery, good lens. Wrong recipe. Now the patient is miserable again. They're exchanging lenses. Patient, today, actually one of the patients landing, she's had 6 lens exchanges. 6. Every time. Lens exchange. My problem also is, these are patients whose RKIs are very delicate. Your eyes have retinal detachment high incidence, remember?
Yeah.
Going into your eye 6 times, taking you to surgery 6 times, or whatever to fix the lens. So there are various aspects to understand. IC8 lenses, pinhole optics. But that doesn't work in all RKIs. Again, you can't just put an ingredient and hope it works because the patients are suffering. The lens, in fact, we are using, coming back to close on your question, I, in fact, use lenses that are so difficult for a surgeon to use even in normal eyes. These are lenses that have toric astigmatism in it, which means not only do I have to be right in the power, which is difficult in RKIs, I have to be right in the power of the stigmatism and its axis where I'm placing it. I call that audacity. With full integrity, I call that audacity, remember? That I want so much for y'all. So if I make one mistake, remember, first of all, your surgery is difficult. I'm looking through 20, 30, 40 cuts. Second, I want to come out without a stitch, so I don't induce astigmatism. 3, you're fully awake and enjoying while I'm struggling inside in whatever minutes we take. That lens not only has to be correctly placed, I am then spending my energy making sure it's on the exact axis I want. If I make a mistake, you'll see double, triple.
So was 88.
88.
Oh, you remember your degrees. You do, see? I love it.
He was awake enough tonight.
Did I answer your question or was it?
On that one. I would like to ask one more, and this is more of a philosophical type question. You take the responsibility of fixing your patients. Other places that I've been, they give you a lot of options, and then it's my, if it doesn't work, it's because I picked the wrong thing. What got you to the point to where your option was to fix a patient, not to just practice medicine?
I repeat the word addiction. My patients have addicted me. And I pray to God every day. I'm very humble, very simple person. I pray that I always remain grounded because someone in my place could become very arrogant and unavailable.
Yes.
With the results I have, thank God, with over 100 countries we have helped. And imagine the city is called Jacksonville, doesn't have a direct flight. I don't advertise. In fact, I just gave an interview. People are trying to write a biography on me. I told them, wait till I die. And in one of the questions they asked me, and I said, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to advertise. Without advertising, if 100 plus countries have flown to me, and so many patients, all of you are leaving all from all over the planet, people are still landing from all over. What will happen if I advertise? How will I handle it? How can I then sit down with y'all and talk for hours and listen to your life stories and get inspired by y'all, keep getting addicted and intoxicated. So very early, even 3 decades ago, so like I said, Mark, my patients' reactions to my work, I fall in love with all of my patients. I never forget you. I never forget your spouse, your kids, whatever you told me, your stories, it stays forever. It's just here, stuck. Whether I see you at the airport, Lydia, right? She saw me at the airport struggling to get back on time for y'all. I will never forget y'all. So when I'm operating, you're not just a number. I know your face. I know your face, Jerry. I know that look in your eyes where you didn't say it to me, but you meant, doctor, don't let me down. I know Denise is waiting outside for you, worried. That's why I even walk you all out of surgery, as if I'm handing over loved ones back. I walk you into surgery. You deserve that. How dare if I don't do that? So that level of attachment makes you realize it's not just money. You are my billions of blessings that I keep getting. I mean, for me, I'm intoxicated all day.
It almost feels like a family. I mean, that's the way I
How do you
look
feel
at
right
it.
now? Is this a doctor's office?
Yeah.
This is a Friday. We are busy. Patients are landing, but here we are chatting now. But to me, all these opportunities that you all create of, doctor, can we discuss this? Let it be on camera, impromptu. Let people listen, understand, and feel the emotion. I hope doctors get inspired seeing y'all. You know, day after surgery, y'all are sitting, where's the pain? So that addiction to my patients' success, to their reactions, makes me very responsible. In fact, I don't call it a burden, but severe responsibility. Like you saw me, the patient from Honduras who couldn't even afford. I had to go through even more hoops, and her eyes like this, nystagmus with white cataract. But seeing her smile right now, you all saw her in the worldwide patient. So I believe if every doctor just looks at taking a single glass of wine and twirling it in the sunset, that feeling beyond drinking 80 glasses of wine all day with 80 patients rushing around, then you're throwing up. That's the difference. And that's why I keep telling doctors, fall in love with your patients. Get attached. Make the decisions for them. And then, yes, perform. You just can't be a nice person. Be both a nice person and performer. And then see what happens. And in our case, we're a business anomaly. I mean, patients flying in and out of the city and all week. And yet, none of you, anyone felt rushed here.
No.
Anyone saw chaos.
Yeah.
Anyone waited. We don't have a waiting room. So I believe that's where it starts. How you are responding to me keeps letting me say yes, Denise, to the next batch that is landing. And then, yes, another important thing maybe you haven't asked yet, which you know, each one of you could have gone blind.
Yes.
I mean, your consent forms that you sign here says that about 11 times. You can go blind, you should go blind, you would go blind, you could go blind.
Everybody went to a doctor that said, we can't do anything, we can't guarantee any, they wouldn't even want to try.
Yeah.
So everybody came in knowing that up front that
Yeah.
there really wasn't an option.
I think the confidence level
Yes.
that you have here, because I started to gain that confidence whenever I went to the cataract surgeon in Texas. And, basically in the end is what he told me, and he talked about the various lens options and stuff. But in the end, he said, look, I could do these, but it wouldn't give you what the vision I feel you want. And so if you were my dad, I would send you to a doctor that I've been following, Dr. Gulani, who's in Jacksonville, Florida. And so that gave me a confidence level that, hey, he could have done this, but he chose not to, and sending me somebody that he had confidence in could help me with and then we got on the website and started, watching some of the videos, some of the testimonies, and that gave me just complete confidence. I never thought about going blind, through all of that. So I feel I was very fortunate I mean, how lucky can you get to, because I didn't do the research that some of the rest of you've done. Mine was a referral, and I just thank him every day for referring me to Dr. Gulani.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's unbelievable.
No, it's that's another part of the responsibility. All the surgeons from across the world who fly their patients to me, it's responsibility. I have to perform. And again, I don't do this for money. I'm not out to impress anybody. I just feel it's a responsibility. People flying, you saw the Germany patient who's flown in 4 times now. He flew in for his first RKI, second RKI, I did laser plastic, and then his wife fell in love with the place. She's simple cataract, but she wanted surgery here. So this is happening so much. You saw the California patient who just left, third time. I did one eye surgery, second eye surgery, and she had a medial pinguiculum reddish, did that surgery 3 times. So I think that's a responsibility, Jerry, that I'm honored by all these amazing surgeons of yours that are sending patients over. But there's another aspect we are seeing a lot, which is the patients landing now. Doctors are doing surgeries that are not correct for RK patients. All these procedures that they're doing on the cornea and leaving the patients hanging after that. You see, today, in this age and time, every RK patient is over at least 55 years of age. Most are 60 plus. Meaning the first surgery you need is a cataract surgery.
Yes.
And lensoplastic, all these names I have created, if you see lensoplastic, laserplastic, corneoplastic, is based on my desire that I want to raise the bar in my profession. These are not made for patients. Nobody comes here for laserplastic. It's a word that's difficult for patients to pronounce. It's impossible to market. It has no SEO value. So I did this to create subspecialties in my profession that every eye surgery should be plastique, QUE, artistry, and laser or whatever I'm using, lenso for cataract techniques. So any RK patient who's having any surgery other than cataract surgery first is having a disservice. They're going further away from their destination. But doctors are doing that. Topography guided surgery is completely not needed in RK because topography doesn't decide vision. So we're correcting so many of these patients who come here with topo guided surgeries done. Patients who are having cross-linking done. I've never had to do cross-linking in RK patients, having corrected thousands of patients. I've written the 5 causes of fluctuations, and those need to be addressed. Of course, cross-linking can be done, but that's not the cure. You're not correcting the problem. The problem in you, all of you, is now cataract. But to do it with the lensoplastic principles, so you land with vision, anatomy, and if needed, stage 2 in cases of deep scars. That is really the plan concept. So I also call that GPS. It's now called Gulani Planning System, but it's GPS. Meaning, you cannot do a surgery, go left, and then go right, and then hit a dead end and take a turnaround. No, that's not GPS. GPS is, are we in the right direction? So let's say if none of you are seeing today, none of you, we still did what you needed. Does that make sense? So that's why GPS is correct. I first did your moist therapy, first got the tears, which is nourishment, accuracy of calculation. Then go inside your eye, do the lens-based surgery. Then, if needed, stage 2, where I work with laser plastic on your cornea, not topography guided ever. Because topography guided doesn't bring vision, unaided vision. Well, laser plastic does. And laser plastic is not PRK, otherwise you'd be in severe pain. So I've corrected PRK complication laser plastic. So we are publishing a lot of that, a lot of the papers on pipeline. But these are not reasons people come to me. They don't come here, Dr. Gulani, we want your laser plastic. No. You're all coming for a solution.
Yes.
And my fight begins on that day. Seeing you, measuring you. So that answers your question. The reason I don't give you all choices is I'm willing to take the responsibility. And I'm not limited. Like most doctors, they have 3 or 4 lens options. I can call a lens from abroad. There are over 30, 40 options in the US now for me. So I'm not limited at all. I want a certain ingredient for this soup. I want that ingredient. I'm not moving. But I'm not using that ingredient in everything and hoping that everything tastes okay. That's the difference. I want to pick an ingredient, a lens that I feel is right for this eye. That still doesn't guarantee that you're going to see 20/20 without glasses, but that is the correct optics for that eye. And most of you land at excellent vision, majority of you. That's why you're flying back for second eye. So, and then I get to teach all this. So that's another thing, responsibility. If you notice, your videos are recorded from the time you enter.
Yes.
Then you're in surgery. You're walking out of surgery. Your leaving day. I'm leaving behind so much evidence that if something happens to me, there are thousands of videos for doctors to watch and they can go, wow, it's possible. This is possible. Dr. Gulani showed us it's possible. And none of you, like I said, have incentive. You're all on camera. Imagine that. You're not a easy Susie, a simple Lasik Joe. No.
You
Impossible.
haven't given us a script.
Never.
Definitely.
Never. And see, again, you're not actors. And yet you're all on camera all the time here in various capacities, which shows the doctors and patients that you're real people. Different walks of life, different professions, different countries. Same thread, vision. So that's the answer to that.
You should have never given me the microphone.
That's okay. It's okay.
I feel like we're now part of a family. I was excited when I saw these people today. Complete strangers before.
As I was, remember what I was joking with all of you? I tell you all to go to St. Augustine when you'll come here for pre-op, because it's like a bucket list item. It's a historic. I tell you, people walking on the wrong side of the road are my pre-op patients. The whole 15, 20 people walking on the wrong path is my pre-ops. Post-op, they're all on the proper area. And it's funny, in the hotels, they all meet up, 6, 7,
Yes.
the London patients last week made, in our time, there used to be pen pals. Remember pen pals?
Yes.
Nowadays it's Facebook, but so all 5, 6 London patients, they're exchanging their addresses and they live like a mile away from each other. So like, we'll meet up. Okay.
But being part of the family, now you have given us a responsibility also. What can we do to help other people? Because there are people out there that are, Brenda saw it all the time on research, that are depressed and are despondent about what's happening or what has happened to their vision. I feel like I have a responsibility to those people somehow, but I don't know what to do.
See, all of y'all represent those people, right? Y'all come in here troubled, hurting, skeptical. You'll
Yes.
come in looking for if I could make a mistake. Am I right or wrong? Your families come in, they're watching everything. Here the floor is spectacular, the ceiling's spectacular. Where is the catch?
Yes.
But I'm willing to pay that price because, as I said, I don't do anything to impress anyone. This is how I express my love for y'all. That everything has to be perfect here. Everything, on time and perfect. So, with all the RK people hurting, here's a little history. I never did a single RK. Now, being a renowned eye surgeon, imagine the number of industries that might have come to me and said, Doctor, you must do RK. It's the forefront. And I said, no, it doesn't make anatomical sense to me. Now, the person who invented RK, the late Dr. Fyodorov from Russia, I thought the world of him. He was amazing. He came twice to my house and he was like, Arun, I'm like, will not. I love the fact that y'all are helping people and all your RK surgeons try to help you and you'll live the life. But I never agreed because anatomical is vertical cutting of a horizontal tissue. So how I became the final destination for RK correction, I don't know. But this, Lydia, you're in the medical field. This has taught me all my life that stand for your values. Don't fall. And it has served me well over the years. I will not do this surgery. This is wrong. It has helped me. So, RK people, if there are 3 things I want to say, or y'all can share with them, is the things that I'm seeing in my practice, because everybody from the planet is coming here. The biggest problem they have is those who are told nothing can be done.
Yes.
Most of you represent that, which is, your doctors are not wrong that do a transplant. It's just that I'm trying to show that it is possible. Y'all can be fixed. So one is that every RK patient, no matter what, I've done people of 45 cut RK, I've fixed also. You can be helped. Second part, having wrong surgeries done because the doctors know only those surgeries, a LASIK or a topography guided laser or a this or that, a cross-linking. That's the other problem I'm facing, because when they come here, I have an additional problem now to deal with. And third is the lens issue. Don't fall for this hyped up advertising thing. All the lenses are good. Industry is doing a great job. But question when you're sitting there before your surgery, not after, before. Doctor, why do you want to put a lens in that you're going to adjust 4 times afterwards? And what about my cornea? That's the main issue here, which is cut. Do you have the holistic means to fix everything? Because in RK, Dr. Gulani teaches right from our tears to our lens, everything needs to be touched or fixed or at least accounted for. You can't just do one thing and go home and leave you hanging because you're again hanging after all these years. So RK patients in particular, I think we surgeons should have a higher responsibility because you've already been through this once. You don't want to again get stuck somewhere. You want the end zone now. Correct? So I would say if you had to share spread, 3 things would be this. 1, you can be helped no matter how complex you are. How I teach doctors is just like I was telling Dave, when you come to me, I'm not just counting your cuts. That's an issue. Do you have fuchs? Do you have corneal scar? How high is your irregular astigmatism? Do you have a corneal ectasia, bulging? Have you had previous Lasik, topography guided laser, or cross-linking? Have you had previous transplant? Have you had previous cataract surgery wrongly done? What kind is your cataract? Does it have pseudo-exfoliation? Is it a hard brown white cataract? Is it hanging with poor zonules? Have you had trauma along with this? Have you had retinal surgery? Many of you have. Suddenly you see how many things, and now add to that, like Brenda, eyes that are very deep set eyes. You saw that other patient from Wisconsin who was with you all at the table. Very deep eyes. Now imagine that deep set eye, I have to go through 20 cuts and do all my stuff. All of these items need to be understood. And then you have to look in the mirror and go, am I capable of performing this? I can't just go in and try. So how we have to, right from the deep set eye to all those issues, take into account. So there has to be a GPS and a correct sequence of things. So that's all. I mean, as my patients, you all have already done a lot in inspiring me. Like I say, allowing me the privilege to help you all. But for sharing the knowledge, I think these are the 3 topics. I think at least. Anything else in your mind?
If you covered vision.
We thought this would be 5 minutes. Just like my lectures. Goes on.
But again, you didn't rush us.
Yeah.
There is no rush
Cannot.
at any point.
I'm just thankful for your passion for this, because I think it's your passion drives you to this perfection, and that's really what sets you apart. Is to me is that you have the desire for the greatest outcome for each one of us, and that's what I'm eternally thankful for. And I think that is probably what draws most of us, is because we see that.
I agree.
And so we're very thankful for you and the way, the passion that you have for helping us.
And that was a message to Dr. Sandeep Sobhi. I don't know if you saw the message. I went ahead and sent it back to your office there. So you'll see what I sent him after my first surgery, for 5-star treatment.
You sent an email to your referring surgeon from Texas after here.
Yes.
Well, yes. And then I went ahead the other day, I sent it to your office so you can see it. But, you formulated a plan for me, as though I was not your only patient, but,
Right.
You felt like
you felt like I was the only patient,
Yes.
And so just so many things that you did that you don't see anywhere else. I've never had that type of treatment at any type of medical facility that I've had here. And that was the message to him. And I also thanked him for sending me to you. So, yeah. So
I know. He's planning to come here to observe some surgeries. Yeah. Yes. Well, yes, lady.
I think some people have basic questions like, why don't you do a stitch, and why don't other doctors not do stitches? Why do they do stitches all the time?
Well, again, a very important point. Most radial keratotomy patients have astigmatism. All right? And we call that irregular astigmatism. I don't like that word, but that's what it's called. Irregular astigmatism. You don't want to cause more astigmatism. So if you see me, I trouble myself a lot how I enter your RKI. I find a way. Sometimes I'm operating from your nose, sometimes I'm standing and operating, sometimes I'm operating from down, because I want to operate on an axis that decreases your astigmatism, even if it makes my life difficult, even if you have deep set eyes, even if you have 40 cuts. Now, in some cases, while operating, I get to feel your cornea, especially if they've had LASIK and other weakening procedures. I feel the whole thing is so floppy. I will go ahead and anchor the stitch. In some, just because there are over 30 cuts and they're flying through 4 flights, let's say to a recent patient in Seattle Portal and all those patients were here last week. I took a dissolvable stitch which I create of my own, and that technique using a suture, a stitch that dissolves in 2 weeks. So you don't need anything to be done, it just goes away. And you still don't induce astigmatism. So I, in fact, take a couple minutes after surgery to make that decision. Because for me, the decisions are very vital because nearly 90+% of my patients fly. They're not local across the street, so I have to worry. They have to go through 3 airports. So this, I'm worrying about this when I'm done with my surgery. They have to go to 3 airports. They have somebody with them, but gosh, they might have one bag with them too. Let me just take this. Done. So I have so many reasons. I decide on table to do things for patients, and I'll do it. I'll let them know. So again, like you said, Dave, my whole desire is how can I give you everything? And that time I don't think of expense. I don't think of my time. Sometimes I finish your surgery and I'm spending 6 minutes just thinking. And, my staff will go like, Doc, and I'm like, is she responsible enough to be quiet during the airport, or will she be, worried about her makeup and carry her bag? And or this guy, he's going to be looking around here and there. All of you are type A. You're horrible. So I know that. I've had patients like, no, doc, don't worry. I promise I will not do anything. And right outside my door, which is made of glass, I see them picking up 2 bags and putting in the Uber. I'm like, oh my God, you nearly killed me. So I know that. So all those decisions, to answer your question, Lydia, is going on in my mind after I finish. So I start all my surgeries with not wanting a stitch for anyone. But I decide based on, this is weak. Oh, they've had Lasik. Oh, they've had more than 30 cuts. Then I will take a dissolvable, that too. So I don't need anyone to do anything. It just goes away.
So another physician might just say, that's just not worth thinking about. I'm just going to put a stitch in everyone, and it doesn't matter if it causes stigmatism.
I'm sure every doctor does the best they can, but yes, it is a very high sensitivity that I teach when I teach. It's like, be sensitive. Taking a stitch is the easiest thing to do. Yes, you sleep well at night, but to me, it is a huge decision at that point. And again, like I said, I don't know who has over 90% patients who fly, like all of you. I have to worry about that. But thank God, all of y'all have done brilliant, super, nobody's come back. It's like, but I worry about that, all of you. In fact, we had a patient from, where was she? From Minnesota recently. Mark, she fell off the escalator. Day 2 after surgery, she was flying and she slipped her shoe, something got caught in the moving escalator. She fell on her head. Okay, so she calls me on Sunday from the ER here in UF. And I'm like, Mark, what happened? No, doctor, I just want to tell you, sir, I'm so sorry. I'm like, Mark, what happened? Why sorry? No, my whole head, it's a concussion, my whole head, it's a bandage and everything. But I promise you, I didn't do anything to your eye.
You're right.
I'm like, Mark, first of all, thank you. And then I'm like, oh my God, you don't have to say sorry. You nearly died. So I went to see her. We sat down, we chatted, and she's like, Doc, see, your eye is perfect. I'm like, yes, don't do it. So we were laughing about that. But what it proved to me was that my technique of taking my entry in these, she was over 20 cuts, was so stable, even day 2, that she fell on her head and her eye did not open up. Wow. Imagine the feeling I had when she said that to me. I'm like, okay, which pocket is your eye in? But what I felt, again, that's why I love you all so much. She was just calling to apologize. So she's sitting with bandages around her head in the hospital. She said, doctor, your eye is safe. I promise you. I'm like, Mark. So that's the love I have of all of you. But it shows me, Lydia, from you being medical, that the entry point that I make, the incision, is that strong. But still, I don't take it for granted. So that's just a funny story of this patient. But no, taking a stitch is actually a huge decision I make on table because I worry about you all. I know you. I have judged you for 2 days. Are you responsible? Is your spouse responsible? What kind of bag? Are you like a fashionista with a very big bag? Are you a guy who's crazy, who's going to be smoking on the floor? I worry about all that. And that decides the stitch. So no, that's fun. So guys, please, careful. Careful on the flights. Pleasure again. Go back to see other patients. Anything else? Any other questions? Oh, amazing. Things we do here. The new patients when they come in. So all of you guys, careful in the flights.
Say no to the biscottis, eyes closed. Okay.
And the best of luck with your recovery.
Look at that.
And I think your recovery too. Y'all take care.
Amazing. We'll see
Ours
you
is
guys.
most important.
David, careful, sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
Yeah, Lydia, keep it below 40, the speed. Safe travel to the airport. Careful,
You
careful.
know me.
Okay. She's like,